real big stretch. Welcome, we're back. We're playing some more Disco Elysium today. A huge bombshell / spoiler for Disco Elysium yesterday, as we found out that... That's the pause, in case you don't want to hear a spoiler. In which we found out that the dude who has been killed was not killed the way that we thought he was killed. So that's pretty exciting. Unwisebird, hello! Seemed like, oh, you know what? I was like, why is my controller not working? I think I figured it out, though. It might be because it's not plugged into anything. So let's do that. See if that improves the situation. Welcome, Unwisebird, to this important part of the stream. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Feels much more effective. Alright. So we just figured that out, and our man, Kim just left. Now, we're supposed to go talk to these union guys, but it might be dangerous, so let's just do it. They might beat the crap out of me. It's a bowl. There's spit in it, reeking of tobacco. Actually, just before we do talk to them, let's make sure there's not something we'd be better off doing while our man Kim is not here. Wash off the death smell. There's a bathtub in your room with the whirling and rags. Good place to visit once you have some privacy. Oh, let's do that. Let's go wash up before we talk to anybody. Oh my gosh, it's like playing The Good Life. I gotta take a bath. Have you found your ballad to sing yet? I haven't. I've gotten some good leads on it, though, weirdly. Can you close that door, please? I've missed a lot of streams. That's alright. We actually...
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now.
We talked to somebody on the phone who used to work at this hotel and said they quit because we were the worst customer they ever had. And they mentioned one particular song that we kept singing over and over again on karaoke, but we need to find a tape of it to be able to sing it at the karaoke bar now.
Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you.
Run yourself a bath.
The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
Undress, close your eyes, and submerge.
The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting. Like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies.
That's kind of fun. Oh, microphone fall over.
You feel nice and lonely, and so tired.
Hello, Zug. There's a little bug here. Do you want to see the people? Real quick, we could do that with the HeroClix camera. Last time we learned that everyone in chat is a Virgo. That's actually kind of true. Let's go to... Boom. Hey, Bug. Let's see if we can do this with this camera. And you can say hello to the nice people. Huh. Bam. There she is. No, what are you doing? Oh, it's all out of focus because I turned off autofocus. But there, you can also see the Ethernet cable where the internet is coming from. Properties. Wait, I can fix this. HeroClix. Properties. Configure video. Camera control. Everybody help me remember the number 60, which is where the autofocus is at right now. Can we see the Zug better now? Zug loves the internet. Zug is a big fan of the internet screaming through that wire there. Can we... Some paint pens. There she is. Okay, that's probably enough of that, right? Enough Zug for now. Thank you, Zug, for coming by. Are you going to jump on the bed? Wait. No, no. Okay, we'll go back. Oh, that's not back. We'll go back because I imagine that's a little hard to look at with the shaky cam. Zug for life! Hey, Soul Foundry, welcome. I gave Zug her second round of medicine for the day literally 1 minute before stream started. Because now I have to come home, give her her first round of medicine, wait an hour, and give her her second round of medicine, which, if I get home at like 7, oh, it's hard. Ooh, exciting Hellboy box. The Hellboy box, oh, I'll show you that. It's actually, so I was playing the Hellboy board game, which characteristically I've invested too much money in. You gotta roll a lot of dice in it, like all the time, and so I wanted a dice tower, and I have one that I made that's like a double kind of chambered dice tower that I made to play the game. Ooh, what is it called? I'm not going to be able to remember it. Some game where both people have to be rolling dice and have their own separate pools of dice. But so I took the board game boxes because also all the expansions come in their own boxes, and you don't need all those boxes to hold that. Are we still looking at the Hero Clicks camera? That's fine. And I made a dice tower out of the boxes, but it doesn't look very good. More dice, better. I'll show you. The craftsmanship, the concept is strong, but the craftsmanship is very poor. So yeah, so I just had this here from doing that, but it looks kind of cool. But duct tape is not the tool of choice to put something like this together. Anyway, Pierogi Frenzy says how she's doing. She's doing much better. Yeah, much more regular. Is really the primary thing. She's making it through the night without needing to run out or anything. So, Evocator says Zug is good. Are you no longer work from home? I am no longer work from home. I could be. There are some people who are more or less fully remote on my team, but I've been going into the office every day. Partly because they give me free lunch, and that's pretty good. And a lot of the lunch is falafel. And I think there's a very real chance that I will eat more falafel this year than the rest of my life combined. Because that's usually the vegetarian option. Ingenious, says Giant Spatula. Anyway, yeah. I just needed a dice tower with a small footprint to play the game with. Evocator says free lunch is a strong incentive. It really is. Whoa, free lunch. What's that like? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let me fix this microphone. Jeez. Why is it pretty good, Petey? It's pretty good because I get to eat falafel. Good. Well done, me. Okay, here we go. Is there anything that I don't like about free lunch? I felt like I was gonna say something else about lunch, and now I don't know. Nope, I don't know. Oh, you know what it is? They have it delivered to the office. And, like, one of my first days at work, they didn't deliver my food. They left out my order by accident. The company, like, I put in my food and everything, but it just didn't show up. And I felt extremely embarrassed to make a fuss. Because you know how it is. You never want to make a fuss, but especially not in, like, your second day of work. And I felt bad making a fuss about my food not being there. Anyway. You feel nice and lonely, and so's tired. We're in a bath right now. You can't tell because they made the screen black for this part, but we're in the bathtub. Let's leave the beer cans in with us.
The cans continue to bob, as do your thoughts, aimlessly splashing up against the sides of the tub.
Evocator says, especially about making a fuss about free lunch. Exactly. I was like, it's fine, I'll just run out. And the person who had arranged the lunch was like, no, we'll call something in. Pierogi Friend says, but sometimes you need to demonstrate to new coworkers that you are not afraid to cry and scream at work. Oh, they know. Believe me. Giant Spatcher says, that's how it looks like when I take a bath. All black. It's good to take a bath in the dark. That's the joke about depression. Oh, no. Let's imagine something.
You see the corpse.
Oh, no.
You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench.
Okay, back-to-back baths.
Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature.
Linger in the tub a little. Let's get nice and raisiny.
Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls.
Oh, it happened!
Cools.
All right, get out.
The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
All right, we did the bath quest. What other things do we got to do? Run the number on the victim's armor. We got to call back again for more info tomorrow. Close the water lock on Wednesday. It's Tuesday now. The smoker on the balcony we need to talk to in the evening. Yeah, other than that, I mean, the world's kind of our oyster here. Were you wearing your clothes in the bath? It's possible. Probably not. What's so special about the borscht the strikers are eating? The cook in Whirling in Rags is making it. You can find him in the kitchen. Oh, let's start there. Let's find out what's going on with this borscht. On a related note, I met a Polish person today who came to deliver. They just moved offices at my new job, and the person came to deliver chairs from his special chair company. Unwiser says, I like your crowbar. I think it's a power move to have every conversation while holding a flashlight in the other person's face and having a crowbar. Just lets them know that I'm serious. No. The tomatoes are so thinly sliced you can see through them. That's how they used to make windows, you know.
The man ponders his cooking utensils
in the old days.
And gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Do you know what's behind that door? Point to the blue door.
He looks up at you, then looks away.
Oh, I forgot. His name is...
Shrugging and muttering something to himself.
Goresi Kubek, however you say it.
Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
What's in that? Leo said you're friends with Manana. Is that true?
The mention of Manana gets his attention. He
No.
smiles and delivers a whole
They're
slew
friends.
of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends.
What is in that borscht you're making there?
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait for you to speak.
I examine the borscht with my face.
I'm pretty sure he asked you a question.
Are tomato windows the reason it's called stained glass? That's exactly right, because there was a brief period. Stained glass was basically an accident. I mean, there was a brief period where people were not really convinced that glass would be good windows, and so they did both. It'd be typical to have a layer of glass and then a layer of thinly sliced tomatoes on the inside. And if you do that, the glass all turns kind of light red or pink or whatever. That's how they got the idea for stained glass.
He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return.
Yes.
Borscht need more vodka?
Giant Spider says, today I learned. Yeah, you can learn a lot of good food history on this channel.
Vodka borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself.
Is it vodka?
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Yes! Turn the vodka up!
He smiles, nodding vigorously.
Mmm.
Then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew.
Now you're cooking with vodka. Can I think we just want to spike the brew. I think we want to get these guys good and drunk. Maybe I should keep my wits about me, but I will have a little bit.
He smiles and nods enthusiastically and, chattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup. Then hands it to you.
Oh, fantastic. I don't think I need anything else, Gracie. Stay masculine. Oh, Gracie's brew. A thermal cup full of hot borscht, spiked with high-proof moonshine. That seems ill-advised. But don't worry, we can only use it 3 times, so we will, there's a limit. That was fun. Who else had unauthorized access to the whirling trash? Let's talk to the whirling rags man. We've made his life better in so many ways. Maybe he has a tape to sing karaoke with.
Can I help you?
Nah, I'm good. Excuse me, ma'am.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
And there's no public phones nearby?
Oh, I have a phone. Oh, you know what? I actually don't have a phone. It's in my friend Kim's car.
The closest phone.
That's
booth
why they
is
call
down
him.
the coast.
He runs to
Sorry
his
for the
car all the
inconvenience,
time
ma'am.
too. He sprints over to it, and that's why they call him Kim Kardashian. It's true. True story.
It's fine. I understand. Thank you anyway.
That wasn't even a joke. That was
Glad to see you again, dear.
just a smattering of madness. Jesus Christ. Unwiseword says, wow. Sorry, I was in another time and place. Good day, ma'am. Everything all right? Hello, Rengoette. Welcome.
Please don't trouble
You came at
yourself
just the
about
right
me,
time
sweetie.
because you missed that
I was
ridiculous
just
joke.
hoping
You
to
said
make
I
a
came in
call,
at the
but
best time.
Roland's phone line isn't working.
Oh no! Unwisebert says that was pretty impressive, TBH. It's just an insane free association. It's not even a joke. Ringwood says I'm considering clipping that. Ugh.
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Why do you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night. But they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them.
Giant Spatula says you're the James Joyce of your time. Very true. What makes your brain like this? Oh, I don't know. It's a sickness.
I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
She looks down.
A little missing persons puzzle might just be the thing to take your mind off the hangover.
Okay, I'll bite. I have time to help this old cryptozoologist lady, wife lady. And plus we might get to meet a Bigfoot. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about.
She glances out the window towards the bay.
More important than a missing expedition? I don't know. Expeditions often lead to something interesting.
So your husband, he's some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
What is cryptozoology? He said, already knowing. But sometimes you have to ask, sometimes it's good to ask somebody a question you already know the answer to. Because if you know that they want to talk to you about it. So we'll bite. What is cryptozoology?
It's really just a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless. And frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
Detective Kim Kardashian. Rangoet, that's an excellent title, too. Those stuffy academic types are just afraid of the chupacabra.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
I have the green ape pen, which is going to help me suggest that maybe you should convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids.
You're
No!
an enthusiastic idiot, but you're still an idiot.
I want to know everything about cryptids. Living cryptids, extinct cryptids, marine cryptids, land cryptids. Bring it on.
Oh dear. Normally I would be happy to talk cryptids all day, but
Why do we have a green ape
I'm
pen
just so
again?
frazzled
Truthfully,
right
I
now.
cannot recall.
I couldn't tell a tadpole from a fingerling.
I want to hear about those cryptids. Ringwood says, also, I see you sent the body off. Your loss is not taking the boots. I was tempted by the boots for sure.
Hello, dear. I didn't notice you at first.
Maybe you could this time really convince me to, or convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids.
Sometimes
Oh, yeah!
the most charming thing you can do is be reasonable in your requests.
Could you tell me about one, just one interesting cryptid? I see. We needed to moderate it a little bit. Some cool crypto, what?
I suppose you could use a break and I
Says
could use
Soul
a
Foundry.
distraction.
Welcome, Soul Foundry, again. We already welcomed you. Did I already welcome you? I try to not welcome people repeatedly. Yeah, of course. You were there when we were looking at Zug. What is... Is that a cryptid on this pen you gave me? Take out the pen she gave you.
Yes. It's the
Oh, she gave us the
ape.
pen.
Half war story. Half undiscovered species in the genus Homo.
A genius homo, you say? Talking about me, huh?
Yes, it was reported by soldiers in South Safra during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva.
Wow. Rangwet says, I tried pulling them off, broke the corpse's legs, and then when Kim was asleep, took the boots, acted like it was just a coincidence that I happened to get military-grade kinetic boots the same time military-grade kinetic boots went missing from the corpse. A foolproof plan. I can't see a single flaw in it. Wow, with its saliva?
Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight.
And there was something about an undiscovered subspecies of man?
Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus.
Did you say gayness? That's worse.
Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like your partners.
Is this racism? Am I speaking to a racist? Oh, that's a dialogue option. Well, I have to pick it now. Sorry, I didn't read. It was just... Rangwat says, Kim just accepted it after I told some unhinged story about how it happened. Poor Kim. He's just like, I can't deal with this. I think there's a name for that. Yeah, we're not... Kim's our man. There's a name for that. Racism.
I didn't mean to imply that Saelites are in any way inferior to us. In some ways, they are superior. Every species has its advantages and disadvantages.
You mean like how a crocodile can drown everybody, but it has to live in the dirty water?
The kind green ape, too, is in some ways superior to us. Such kindness as it is demonstrated is not common among humans. Granted, kindness may not be an evolutionary advantage.
Well, interesting. But what's the biggest cryptid?
I thought we'd agreed on just one cryptid, sweetie.
Just one or two more, Lena, please.
Can't say no to that. Well, biggest cryptid is the giant of Kokonur.
Go on.
The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
What do you mean by a strange light?
Mirage or psychogenous luminance.
And how big is it?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Is it dangerous?
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
Kokonur.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support.
Rengoet says, Kim is way too kind for the childlike police partner he has been given. I'm pretty sure Kim volunteered to do this task and now he is just stuck with you. He's extremely put upon, it's true.
There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Go on.
Great. This is great shit. You need more.
I'm not wasting my time. This isn't a waste of time.
Gravity anomaly. Dig in it. Dig in this parascientific stuff right here.
One more. Let's learn about one more cryptid. Are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
What's that?
The Koldamama Dakwa, or thin whisper of sound. And that's precisely what it seems to be. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. It's very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Rengoet says, I love the difference between Kim and how nice he is to you and your actual police partner who is just done and just hates you. Everybody at the police department hates us. Ugh, it's brutal every time we have to call them.
Kolda Mama Dakwa can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
A whisper light and low.
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite lovely, aren't they?
Not as lovely as you, ma'am.
Although the low part is a little ironic. The Koldamama Dakwa makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know.
Rangwat says, did you say you had a medical problem to your department? Oh no. The medical officer is wonderful. He just wants you to die. Oh no. No, I don't think we went down that particular conversation path. How can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
Speaking of sound waves, you look like a woman who has a karaoke tape in her sweater. Let's have it.
What about what?
This has been very educational. Now we need to discuss something else.
Of course, dear.
What is this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist.
Highly.
He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect.
Go on.
But they should have returned by now.
Huh.
They were just going down the coast across the water lock to
bummer.
set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
So we'll probably have to go Wednesday when we do the water thing.
The water lock, that was broken. Could this be it?
The water lock to the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck over there.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
Probably just some technical problem. Giant Spatcher says, I like that you're practicing active listening with her. You've gotta.
Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. You've spared me another sleepless night.
No worries, Lena.
Listen, sweetie, I hate to ask, but if your investigation happens to take you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
Of course.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
Oh, yeah.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
If I see him, I'll let him know you're here. When or if I get there, accept the task.
Oh, you're such a dear.
What can I say?
Thank you, sweetie.
Tell me more about this rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
Oh, no. That's my favorite flavor of minutiae. Please, proceed.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but
Are phasmids like stick insects? Are they? Or am I thinking of a different thing? I'm supposed to know from watching Master and Commander. You remember when they talk about the stick insects in Master and Commander? Everybody remembers that scene.
Ah yes, Phasmatodea, a diverse
No-
group of
oh, yeah.
insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially.
Ah, we did it.
Oh yeah.
Unwiseword says you're right.
Interesting.
The lesser of two evils. Oh, fantastic. The doctor. No, they say that to the doctor, right? That was an okay movie. Was it an okay movie? I saw it in theaters as a young man. I don't remember. Rangot says you are thinking right, but I didn't know that, or I just forgot. Oh, but that may be from the conversation with Soul Foundry. It's important to choose the lesser of two evils.
where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed.
Rangot says, man, encyclopedia is the
Disguises itself among
nerd
the reeds
skill.
Here on the Insulindian
It's
coast.
true. Okay, so it looks like a reed.
Hence, it's named the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering it with us, officer.
I would like to have a weird bug named after me.
There's a touch of awe in the way she enunciates the creature's name.
What makes you think the phasmid is around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reed saw one.
Nice.
They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
Rangoet says, real skills tell you false information, like mishearing someone say hi as calling you a slur. And Giant Spatcher says, the Piotr beetle. So, a newspaper clipping is all the evidence you have?
Of course, most Phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insul Indian Phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Does it have any cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even.
Is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Oh, is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
It's true. I mean, it's one of those jobs where just like, you go the whole year and you catch 2 Bigfoots and that's all the money you make for the year. Well, it's like being in sales for like tractors or whatever, or like heavy machinery. I guess a tractor is heavy machinery. Where like you really do only sell a few items a year. That kind of job would stress me out. I gotta be real. What's so special about the stick bug then? That was a coherent thought.
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special.
The woman's face flushes with embarrassment. Rengoet says, I knew a guy who did boat rides on Loch Ness and who has these complex radar stuff to look for the Loch Ness monster. Oh, that's dope. My sister, I think it's just like as a little treat for herself, but she, at least when I talked to her about this a few years ago, my sister believes in the Loch Ness monster. Like, she's not a superstitious person generally or anything like that. Progy Frenzy says a bullshit detector. But she really thinks that it's a plesiosaur, it's in Loch Ness, that it must be real. And you know what? I think that's I'm okay with that. If somebody wants to, indulge in a little conspiracy theory like that,
Morel can
I
explain
don't have a problem
it
with that.
much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Tell me more about Morel. Looks, character, your relationship. Yeah, we might need to ID this guy in case he got killed by the reed monster.
Oh dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
Oh, what does he look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
Sounds like my kind of guy. Giant Spatula says, I heard a theory that the Loch Ness monster is a ghost, and I like the additional layer of conspiracy. Oh, it's like the conspiracy that the moon landing is fake, but they actually did go to the moon, and the world couldn't handle what they found there, so they had to also fake it. I love a double conspiracy.
You can't go around forever short feeling grown men's hands. If you want to find her husband, you'll need more concrete information.
True.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Let's try this again. Why don't you describe him as you would one of your cryptids? This is a fun conversation.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame. And he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even. One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, just in case.
How long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious.
How come I can't say
milestones even more
congratulations? Anytime somebody says anything about an anniversary, you have to say congratulations. How did you two meet?
By
Congratulations,
a
by the
dating
way.
agency, I'm ashamed to say.
No.
I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
Well, Lena, everything that you've said to me this whole conversation has been an absolute delight. And I'm so pleased that I got the opportunity to speak with you.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
Let's move on.
I hope I've been useful.
Absolutely. That's all for now, ma'am. Oh, what a delight. That woman is a class act. Okay. Want to talk to this man? It's all about money, Oh, tell me about it. Hello.
Let me handle this.
The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
You are far from home, officer. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
Soul Foundry says, random, I've been growing a beard almost a month, and I told everyone I was going to shave it the moment it got comfortable, and I've decided Friday's the day to shave it. I'm so excited. Oh, congratulations. Shaving a beard, it does feel good. I should probably do the same. I like it right now. Soul Foundry says, by beard I meant mustache, even better. I was going to say I like having a beard in the winter because it keeps you warm a little bit. But a mustache has probably a more limited warming effect. Rangoet says, I once found in a Flat Earth Discord server, there was a split between Flat Earthers and Hollow Earthers. It was whack. IDK what this Hollow Earth theory is, because we have been in caves. I mean, technically the Earth is hollow, but the theory is different than science. There's a good, it's not Hellboy, but it's BPRD, a BPRD comic. BPRD is the secret paranormal investigation agency in Hellboy, called Hollow Earth, which is kind of about that. It's pretty good. Roger's in it, Liz is in it. It's a good one. Evo Kidder says, wait, did you say Mustache Piotr is coming back? Unlikely. Maybe we'll do it maybe when it gets warmer, we'll do it for a few days. But no, Soul Foundry was telling us about their mustache. You're not a gardener.
That's right. I'm not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
We need Kim for this. I mean no trouble. I'm here to do my job, that's all.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
Soul Foundry says, I feel like my mustache is like a snot catcher. Ugh. And also, my gray hairs are turning me into an Anderson Cooper. Are not turning me into Anderson Cooper. Oh, I was going to be so excited for you. They're turning me into Stephen Colbert. That's not a bad way to go either. Although he grew a beard. Do you remember? It might have been during the pandemic. No. When did he grow a beard? Because he took some time off from the show. It must have been in like 2019. I don't know when Colbert grew a beard. But he grew a Wolf Blitzer beard. And it wasn't a good look for him. It lasted, he had it for like a few weeks and then shaved it off. Soul Foundry says, yes, it was awful. It was the pandemic. Okay. And Ringo says, it was terrifying. Also, the Wolf Blitzer thing is literally a joke that I stole from him. That was his joke that he made about the beard. Soul Foundry says, that is me. Ringwet says, also the layers of insanity from Flat Earthers is insane. They think the North and South Poles are a giant ice dome keeping all the water in from leaving. And they also deny biology, saying some bullshit about us not being able to see far. And if we can't see far, space can't be real either. Of course. And Wisebird says, I like Conan's beard. It's not a good look either. I guess maybe talk show hosts just shouldn't have beards. Makes you think. All right.
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. We want to interview him.
She points to the man standing in the middle of the room. We shouldn't have spoken to her.
That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
Soul Foundry says, I had a Comcast guy come by to fix my internet, and he was legit like, so, what's up with the mustache? I went into a blind rage. That's pretty brutal. I feel like if you see somebody with a mustache, you have to compliment it. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're a bad person.
Could this be the Miss Beaufort that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school?
Are you Miss Beaufort?
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here.
She points to the tall man by the
Titus
table.
Hardy.
Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes. In the way she stands. In her
Ah, we got her. She doesn't like that we know who she is. Pierogi Frenzy says, hard disagree on mandatory stash compliments. Listen, you gotta do it, because to go out into the world with a mustache is a hard thing to do. And I think that in itself deserves a commendation. Because you know it's gonna look bad, as all mustaches do. Rengoet says, it was also so funny with me trolling the Flat Earther Discord server, saying some whack shit, and they all just agreed. Like I said, I took a plane ride and a picture from the window and how you can clearly see it's fake and the quality of a theme park ride. And they're all like, yes, so true. Very good. Soul Foundry says it's like wearing a fedora. Exactly. Exactly. You don't have to. Soul Foundry, you're changing my mind about it. Now I agree more with Pierogi Frenzy. Because you're right. I wouldn't compliment every man wearing a fedora. Now I'm just not so sure.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question these men.
What if I want to talk to you, not Titus? Let's push your buttons a little bit.
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
Rangwet says if they had a cowboy hat and a stash, it's a compliment. That's a good look if you can pull it off. Yeah. Like a Doc Holliday vibe. Did he have a mustache in the movie? I'm gonna say yes. What's your role in all this?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
Oh, what are you gonna do to me?
What are we going to do to you?
She starts laughing. It's a cold laughter devoid of joy.
The union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
That's so funny because you guys do like a shitload of crimes, but okay.
Goddamn right it is.
It's Titus
If
Hardy.
anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
Let me just ask this question while shining a flashlight in your face and holding a crowbar. And that question is, why are you so aggressive?
I am being aggressive? Listen, you moral and unlucky. You are part of a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you are their bodyguard.
Rangwet says, she says as they hanged a corpse behind the building. Rangwet says, that deaf is not saying we will fuck you up. Oh, definitely not. Very anodyne.
Fuck yeah.
The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
I'm supposed to bring about communism, and I think we should RP that as like the weird quirk that we take away from our insane bender. So let's say, I like that. Good start. Let's take it a step further. Armed uprising. What are the union's plans?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Ringwet says, I had the fascist, communist, and capitalist perks all at once. There are 3 wolves inside you.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
I'll talk to Titus then. You've wasted my time, frankly. Thanks for that. Okay, Titus.
This is where you say your bit.
Rangwet says, and at the end, Kim brought up the contradiction between them. I love that they accounted for that. Let's not say anything yet. We'll let him say the first words.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Glenn, well, I gotta talk to you about your hair routine after this, but for now, butt out.
Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire.
You know what? This chatter is too inane to reach my ears. Raise my chin and gaze into the distance like a prance. I think we talked about this already, but just in case, I heard the new Prince of Persia game is really good. And is like a cool Metroidvania.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
Rangwet says, I love that drama is just a skill. It just pushes you to get into arguments. The little guy looks at his mates in disbelief. Hey, what is this guy, high or something?
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
We need to talk about the man hanged out back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that won't.
Maybe we should have brought Kim for this.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
Don't you comment on the fact, first of all, Glenn, why is your audio quality worse than everybody else's? Second of all, do not say that I smell like him.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Uh-huh.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard.
Renguet's
Chances are they
OMG
go
boy
into
smells so cute. Let's scan the room.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44.
Nice.
Blonde man in his 30s. Overbearingly masculine.
Uh-huh.
Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet.
He's also gray? That's fine. It's fine. He's probably healthy.
Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Maritzian in his late 30s, early 40s.
God, who does he look like? He's got a little bit of a Dr. Phil vibe. I think that's what it is. He's like Dr. Phil plus Peter Cushing. I think that's exactly who that is. Okay, I'm satisfied. Next.
And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. And numerous scars. A little under 40.
And Weisbert says definitely Dr. Phil vibe.
The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain.
Okay, everybody, he's gonna have incredible lats, so we gotta stay away and stay away from his back.
In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important.
I don't know what a plectrum is.
Let's call this one the musician.
And the little guy?
Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing.
So these are the guys that hung him up.
In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them is absent, the odd soul.
Exactly. The missing lady driver who was running the drug trade. Does it mean the Hardy Boys are involved in the drug trade as well?
That would fit what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions.
Maybe. But hey, you've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Now is a good time to hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
All right, this is what we're going to do. We need a strategy before we go in. The strategy is ask them questions that indicate that we're on, that don't, like, accuse them, but indicate that we know more than they expect us to know. We're going to try to intimidate them by knowing a bunch of stuff. That's the plan. Let's do it. The same way that their union boss tried to do to us.
The fuck is with you, fella?
I found 8 set of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where is the 8th Hardy boy? Renguet says, ask them the most unhinged shit. Leave conversation and tell Kim you got so much out of them. Also a good one.
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
He sizes you up.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
Nice, Glenn.
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her.
Oh, Glenn, you loose lips make me bust you guys for a bunch of crime, Zips.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here.
Uh-huh.
Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
It has to be good if he won't let you pursue it.
Sorry, boss.
The main guess what? Is this salient? Rangoet says, Kim has the gun. You may want to be careful now. Yeah. The man hanged in the backyard. No, they know that they're not going to, like, anything they say to me is not going to help. I'm going to take off for now. We got a little something. And also the jamais vu.
The realization. Jamais vu, the opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
Ranguet says, I'll just say, though tense, it's not in their interest to hurt a cop, especially in a public bar. That's probably true. All intellect learning caps raised by 1, plus 1 XP for every orb clicked. Seems good. Let's take a look at skill checks we can do. Are there any of these we can try again? You have some leniency, just don't push it. I think we might try to come back with Kim. I'd feel a lot safer with backup. Let's ask this woman again. Do you have anything else to say?
I've got nothing to say to you.
Are
Why
you the
are you wasting your time?
Are you the hardy girl?
I am not.
You could be Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
Thanks, Glenn.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an attorney.
Uh-huh. How do you feel about me wearing your gloves?
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International.
Get a grip, Glenn. She went to law school.
So fucking what? Lots of models are actually really smart people, fuckwad.
No, they aren't, Glenn. Stop.
No, Glenn. They aren't.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
This didn't change her opinion of you. It's not her. She's not a hardy girl. Definitely.
Huh. Maybe we'll talk later. Interesting. Tuesday. Confront the Hardy Boys about the drug trade. They want us to do it? All right.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Oh yeah? How long did you practice that, Titus? The man hanged in the backyard. Did you do it?
The pretty boy. You really love talking about him.
What can I say?
Evidence. Show them you have it. It doesn't have to be conclusive.
Why are your boot prints all over the scene? Though I do like the option, I've spoken to the dead man in a bizarre occult vision.
You mean these boots?
He raises his worker boot. Size 46, steel reinforced toe. Yes, sir, I do.
We all got a pair. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him by the neck.
Only you didn't. He was already dead, you big liar.
Yeah, we did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why our prints are all over the scene.
Ranguet says, I chose all the weird options here. I think their attitude started to go from threatening to concerned. I do like the idea of just being a complete loose cannon. Uh-huh. So you just confessed to murder?
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened? so that you don't waste any more of your time.
That's so crazy, Elizabeth. How you all guys are all telling me the whole truth. I love it. I love this earnestness that's coming forth from all of you about the real and actual cause of death. You big liars!
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
This might get me in trouble. But this is the strategy I said we were gonna take. How does the bullet in his head factor into this?
Huh?
A sip of beer makes the surprise go down easier.
How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice, maybe.
Rangwet says Elizabeth is having quite the time here as their lawyer. Titus doesn't understand the importance of the right to remain silent.
Interesting, sire. It's as if he's lying to protect someone. He's not very good at it.
This line of questioning is over. You got the cause of death already? Hanging. If there's any post-mortem trauma, it's your problem.
Elizabeth,
This
you're
will
a
not turn into a cross-examination.
You're a shitty person and a bad liar. Soul Foundry says, I need a Steam Deck for this game. This is a in-bed game for me. And Regwat says, well, he likely does. He's clearly purposely lying about the murder. Yeah. You murdered him just like, who called the shots that night? No, when did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to answer any of his questions.
The Fixer turns to remind Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
That's pretty funny, because you are caught in a lie, sir. Sunday is the beginning of the week. How long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Sure.
Yeah. Who do you think we are?
Go on.
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town.
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce, the negotiator for Wild Pines?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
This is where he tries to sow discord between you two, because he knows the company is responsible for bringing the mercenaries into town.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Rangwat says, wait, does he mean the old negotiator or the mercenaries? I think he means the negotiator, the previous one. How did you kill him? Why did you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary? That's it?
And he stepped out alive.
What kind of mercenary? And then what kind of line is next, Titus?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
I hate that for you, Eugene.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hired merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
How do you know he was in Special Forces?
'Cause one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm Oranese goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all.
Cool.
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some Oranese paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
I mean, that's generous.
We couldn't believe it either. But he fucking did. Right there. Like some kind of animal.
Sire, the tale is true. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Okay, besides crimes against karaoke, what did he actually do wrong? Rangwat says, right, but what did he actually do wrong? Yeah, what did the armed mercenary in the middle of the town do wrong? What a what a mystery.
He harassed women.
We heard
raped
this.
one, harassed workers. Threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wipes spittle from his mouth.
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation?
That is interesting.
He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
Kill us all if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted? Raped, you said?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Rangwitz, I think this is the part when I realized we might not be the good guy. We are sent to get justice for that guy. True.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
But there's more. I mean, you obviously know, and I don't know yet. But there is more going on here than there appears. And I think it's worth getting to the truth. I think even though we are potentially working in favor of a big, gross corporate interest, I think that our quest for the truth remains sympathetic and noble.
There's something odd here. Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
This is a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Ranglet says, well, I knew we weren't really good guys, but like this is when I realized how scummy we are and not just personal problems. Right. Fair enough.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
You murdered him just like that? No remorse?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Shares Electrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
He says it as if it were worse than dying. And Reunion? What's that?
The River Esperance Correctional Facility, a military prison run by the Coalition, dubbed Reunion by the inmates. The origin of the name is unknown.
Honestly, I drink so much I can't really remember anyone I've sent behind bars.
Doesn't remember them. He just forgets. Are you hearing this, Titus?
Are you hearing this, Titus? I like Shanky.
Ain't no use keeping a stiff catalog in your head. That's for sure.
So who called the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all Hardy Boys.
Wow, Elizabeth, you're such a legal genius about what I'm able to do in terms of who I arrest.
Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
No, but seriously, Titus, who calls the shots around here?
Who do you fucking think does?
Point at Elizabeth. I thought she did.
It wasn't a question, dickwad. How fucking stupid are you?
This asshole is worse than... Titus runs the Hardy Boys, genius. That's why we're called the Hardy Boys. Ain't that right, fellas?
Ain't that right, fellas?
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
Yes, there are some administrative differences. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
Rangwitz is Elizabeth versus Saul Goodman on who the most sleazy lawyer is. I mean, Saul Goodman definitely has more phones, which has got to count for something. How'd you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper?
So you're gonna go on record saying that, just in case, like, for instance, later we prove that he was shot to death, you big idiot?
Didn't they
they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
You know, it's funny because the autopsy that I did do in a timely-ish manner revealed the victim's hands were not tied, no signs of struggle. How do you explain that?
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
Rangwat says, but he's also too scared to directly threaten to beat up a cop, at least from what I've seen. No spoilers.
Yeah. I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clapped him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
Okay, we're going to give ironic punishments to all of you. So you're going to be trapped in a giant hourglass, you sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hang the fuck.
Soulfinder says, Quiero hacer este ahorita. And has redeemed today's featured hero clicks. Perfect read. Very good Spanish. Thank you very much for the light snacks, Soul Foundry. Let's take a look. Today's featured hero clicks, and then we'll come back to this conversation here, is BAM! Now, you may be looking at this hero clicks, and you might be saying, what is that? What is that supposed to be? Rangwat says, Titus's Inferno, given to you by Harry. Perfect. I just figured that out. It's Dante's Inferno, and we're Harry. Okay, and he's Titus. You might say this is like a weird man in a spacesuit, whatever. The helmet's kind of interesting, but what's supposed to be going on in there? He has knife hands, and I love him. Well, the reason he has knife hands, even though, well, yeah, the reason he has knife hands is because Soulfinder says, I'll kill people with them all the time. He's Raphael of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Rangwat says, Honey Boy. No, it's Raphael in a spacesuit for some reason. I actually do know the reason. This is from the Fugitoid story arc of Ninja Turtles. I assume. I can't think of another time that they went to space, but maybe. So yeah, there's, in addition to all of the Ninja Turtles in regular turtle mode time, I've also got the Ninja Turtles in spacesuits, which is pretty fun. Soulfinder says, TMNT, always amazing. Oh, Rangwat says that's supposed to be fire from the boots because it looks like he's shooting out sap or honey. It's delicious honey. You're right, actually. It's not. It doesn't look very good as fire. And Soulfinder says Michelangelo is legit the best, though. I gotta go look through the box and see if I can find if I've got spacesuit Michelangelo, because you mentioning the knives has made me very curious what they did for his nunchaku. Could be interesting to see. Anyway, he is rare, I think. Yeah, he's got a little silver thing. So maybe you can see that little symbol there is silver. So I might not have the other ones in spacesuits, but it's possible. More importantly, Raphael is 75 points. But not yet, because we have to compare him to our standard size Karen. Huh. Rangwat says that would still be a sick skill, though. They just trap people in sap. What is that like? You guys are going to make me... now I have to reference Moby Dick again, which is a weird niche reference that we've made before. But there's a chapter in Moby Dick where they talk extensively about a man drowning in a vat of honey. And that's what that makes me think of. Anyway, as you can see, he's obviously got the benefit of being boosted up on his little fire things. It's a little bit hard to make a comparison, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that he's taller than our standard size Karen. In addition, Raphael is 75 points, and also he is today's featured hero click. So, now you know. Oh, he's smaller for sure. Stop. Is he? Oh, now I just don't know. You might be right, Rangawet. It's hard. He's definitely chonkier too, which kind of, it kind of makes him seem shorter. I don't know. Oh, that was today's featured hero clicks. Perfect. Rangawet says Adventure Time had a deer trap that inside sap. The episode also had a whole conspiracy theory of a plot. And Soulfinder says Princess Mononoke has a lot of honey stickiness, IMO. Black honey. Oh. The bees have been hitting the molasses, maybe, would get you black honey. I started another batch of mead just over the weekend that is made with buckwheat honey, which is darker, and then it also has tea in it. But I was very surprised how dark the honey was. I hadn't really seen honey like that before. I'm a little bit worried that it's going to come out really bad because I don't know if I would want like a cup of tea that had been steeping for 2 months. But we'll see. We'll see if it turns out good. Anyway, they said they hanged the guy.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up.
Mr. Tats, what did you use to knock the victim out? Soul Foundry says, nah, remember the end when the forest spirit turns to like cosmic oil? I haven't seen Princess Mononoke. I don't know. I don't think I have that one here. I have Totoro and Spirited Away on Blu-ray, but I don't think I have Princess Mononoke.
My fucking elbow, Copper. Samaran boxing style.
That's kind of cool.
Samaran boxing, or Sambo, is an eloquently violent set of one-on-one fighting moves, originating from the Samaran Isola. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool.
Soul Foundry says, OMFG, it is a long watch, but it is so good. Rangwet says, I forget the game, but I remember one game where an ability is to throw sap on the floor to slow enemies. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool slowing enemies ability.
He may be lying, but he's good at it. No twitching, no rushing, no uncalled for details.
And where did all this action take place?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
Things aren't quite adding up here, are they? Soul Foundry says, Princess Mononoke is like an audiobook but animated, done in 2 hours. That's not so bad. Okay, we're gonna do it. Everybody get ready. Things aren't quite right here, are they?
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others.
First, tell me who's solid.
Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right
Yeah,
hand
he's a smooth
man,
criminal.
the least antsy of the bunch.
He's a master of
Definitely
psychology.
not his first time being questioned by the police. This little rat-faced fellow is solid too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
Who's cracking under the pressure? This one. I guess they're not voicing that line. This one. He's sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They've smartly kept him out of the conversation thus far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. Rangwet says tomato juice is kind of mid. I agree. If you put some hot sauce in it, it's a little bit better, but I'm right there with you, Rangwet. Hey you, turns to the big guy. You have trouble breathing over there?
No.
He looks up, startled, his forehead shiny from sweat. A few coiled locks are peeking out from under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
Wow! The man next to the big guy bursts out laughing. Rangwet says, I had it on holiday to Wales for the first time, and it doesn't taste bad, but it isn't that good either. I agree. It's really salty, too. You can get, like, lower salt tomato juice or vegetable juice or whatever, but it's one of those things that is not as good for you as it might seem.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Uh-huh.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
Rangwet says, I didn't look at the salt contents, but I can believe. I mean, in fairness, fruit juice is like super sugary too. You know, juice just might be bad for you. There's something you're not telling me.
And fuck you too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
Oh, Titus, you're looking out for your boy. Rangwet says, I feel like a tomato smoothie would be better. Is that weird? But I can see it being a smoothie better than juice. Kind of pulpy. I guess at that point, you're dangerously close to just having marinara sauce. But
his all-muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
I have other questions about the lynching.
Like what, Copper?
That's it.
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. You should go back to Jamrock, to your station, where you belong.
Rangwet says, that is true, lol. Maybe I just want to drink tomato sauces. You could do worse.
Yes. Run home. Lonely. Rent a cop.
He grabs another
Field
beer.
Law officials are done with you. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Rent-a-cop. So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equal.
I'm gonna take off now. I think we got something out of that. Prove your authority to Titus Hardy. Soften him up first. Maybe investigate the crime scene or the body. Look for a weakness. Get help from the union boss or the company rep. Tie them to any other crimes. Yeah. And Ringo says, also, though, I like very tomatoey sauces. I'm not a big ketchup fan. I can't place my finger on it, but it doesn't have a nice tomato flavor in it. I'm not really crazy about ketchup either. I haven't had ketchup in, like, a super long... I mean, maybe I got a burger or something that ended up having it on it, or was served with something on it. But, like, I really don't go out of my way for ketchup anymore. I loved it as a kid, but I feel the same way. I'm just not that into it.
Was that? Could it be the Calder Mama Dakwa? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
So Foundry says, blasphemy. I am a big mustard guy. Mustard's pretty good. I like some mustard. Is it? Is there a ringing? Listen more closely.
There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear.
Oh my gosh, we're going to discover a cryptid. Renguet says, yeah, same. Well, I never loved it, but I do put it in sauces sometimes.
Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal, including humans.
Oh no!
What you're hearing must just be a regular bird.
Soulfinder says, ketchup is life! Mustard only on fries is great. I'm a meme at work for ketchup, basically. I appreciate your going all in on it.
Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbor, the traffic. But, admittedly, there is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too. But then, isn't there always?
Rangoet says this is true. Mustard is great in sandwiches, but not that American shit. You gotta get the brown mustard. None of this yellow mustard. That looks, the like bright yellow stuff. Pierogi Frenzy says, I bought banana ketchup. Need to find something to use it on? What is banana ketchup? And Rangoet says, I found out today banana milk is a thing and I need to try it. That frightens me. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm learning about all these things that have bananas in them all at once, and it's overwhelming. Let's listen closely first.
There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species.
Yes, keep listening.
It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you.
Move your head toward the sound.
Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it.
Continue.
No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets.
Soul Foundry says, oh, maybe we talked about this before. Now this is familiar to me. Soul Foundry says, ketchup is an Asian sauce that was originally created using many different veggies, but eventually during times, tomatoes were decided as the ketchup stuff. And banana ketchup is made from banana, and very ketchup-esque, but not at all as vinegary. Interesting. Ranguet says, I was looking at the Space Station 13 wiki and was like, banana milk? That's weird. And the others nearby all knew that banana milk was a thing and went out far just to get it, but I did not know about this. I've been vaguely aware that banana milk is a thing, but I gotta be real. I don't think I've ever seen it in person. Soul Foundry says, I have both in my fridge right now. Banana milk and banana ketchup? Soul Foundry's fridge is just full of things that I've never heard of. Rangoet says, that's some fine dining right there. Rangoet says, I need to try banana milk and banana ketchup now. Agreed. I'm curious. I would try those both. Let's say no. Come back, please. Listen more.
Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
And that is absolutely a thought that I want to develop. Let's hear the invisible bug, or whatever. Yes, yes, yes. Unlock a slot, invisible bug. The Coldo Mamadakwa. It's going. Soulfoundry says, Rango says, put it on some cooked plantain. Oh, I do like plantains. Soulfoundry says, I live between two Asian markets, a Russian market and a halal market. Oh, so you actually, you probably do have access to good ingredients. That's pretty dope. I used to live kind of near an Asian grocery store, but not anymore. I miss it. Rango says, you live the life. All right. Let's go. Let's talk to this random person. Maybe they have the big clues.
The
Not
ship
this time.
takes off
Oh.
like a silvery mosquito, unfolding its rotor blade arms. She mumbles reading, then puts down the soft cover.
Rangwat says, near me is bad Chinese takeaways, a chip shop, and a bunch of coffee shops. Oh, that's too bad. A chip shop can be nice, though. Go get some fries. Soulfoundry says, I will take a video for the Discord this week. I need to walk more. And Rangwat says, I was so disappointed when recently I took a look at the Jamaican-themed cafe, and it had no Jamaican food. That's a travesty. It was just sandwiches and such. Oh, that's brutal. Let's talk to this woman about the book. A good one?
Yes? Hello?
She nods, her attention fully focused on reading. I love this woman. Can we romance her? Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
Even better.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much.
I am here to talk to you.
If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Shouldn't a working class woman be working? Otherwise, you're just a class woman.
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Good, good.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
Watch her browse books.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking. Another comrade. Years of labor are pressing down on her shoulders. She deserves a hug for all the work she's done for mankind.
I mean, we gotta give her the hug. I gotta.
You step in and close your arms around this foreign body, wandering astray in touch. There's a small movement beneath your hands as you shut your eyes.
I don't know if shutting my eyes was a good move.
A tiny voice breaks out and asks,
What is happening?
She seems to be confused. Your hands are wrapped around her polyester coat. The fabric feels cold, moist from the sea nearby.
Let's keep it brief. Let go.
She steps back and returns her attention to books, pretending this hug didn't happen.
It's probably the best case scenario. That's all for the moment. I'll let you read.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
Well, we gave that lady a hug. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's something down there. Curious. Oh. No, 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 no. The musty smell of a potato cellar in spring emanates from the air vent. They got potatoes down there? Oh my goodness. Let's talk to Joyce. I want to catch up with her a little bit. We have so much more information than the last time we spoke with her. I don't think we need to feed it all to the big corporation, but worth chatting about. Rangwat says the potato people live down there that Measure had talked about. I see.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
And by the way, I've talked to Everard Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
I didn't.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years?
Rangwit says, now you have the photo. The
Actually-
scab might be a nice man to visit, I'll say. Interesting.
Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic. Worm-like.
Worm-like.
Corruption. Reaching into the bowels of the earth.
Pierogi Frenzy says, you know what to do here, PB.
Of course.
I did the wrong
I
thing.
don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a Worm myself. But
Tell her Mr. Everard
It
is
felt
helping
like
you find your
passing
gun.
some
Twice?
information.
Okay.
how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be...
Rangoet says she respects a similarly corrupt representative. Game, recognize game.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making?
The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk, helps them strike.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
Oh yeah, do you want some?
Why, if I may ask? Why make them more drunk? Aren't they corked enough already?
I mean, I don't want to say any of these things. Rangoet says, I love escalating tensions. I guess I worship... I guess if I'm trying to bring about communism, this is what I should say. An act born of sympathy for the working man. I set fires to the fumes of struggle. It seems out of character, but let's do it.
Very curious. A very curious thing to do. What else?
I'd rather talk about something else for now, if you don't mind.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat.
I appreciate it.
Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
I've been dealing with Everett Claire.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. Now, what else can I do for you?
How do I don't know if I can tell her about the gun. I have a photo of the victim's tattoos.
She reaches for the photo, takes it, then holds it in her hand.
And then casts it in the ocean because it's her same tattoos. Pierogi Friend says, ah.
For about half a minute.
Damn.
In silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to one on the photo paper.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Places, like stars in the sky.
Close. Port cities. This is an Olomon's map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago. The sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
That's kind of fun. What travels did the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oranese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
Then what?
Then he made his way to the Preto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Preto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
She points to his heart. What is that?
Revachol.
Ah.
Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it. Seems like you can.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments,
Huh.
but not their meaning.
In Martinez looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock.
These are likely where he was stationed? Yeah, I think that's what we're about to say to her. This man is no brother of mine. But this is his service history.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Fair.
You wouldn't even know where to start.
What is the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
I've spoken to him. For now, the soul is fastened inside his corpse.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse.
Well, that's all for tattoos. Thanks for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
I guess that's... Can we talk
Of course.
about the
Anything
lynching?
to help.
You said the deceased assaulted a woman.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
What did the teenagers by the canal say? This is hearsay.
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
Regwat says, let's hope she doesn't think too much on you talking to him. Yeah. Yeah, I worry a little bit about that. Sometimes in these kinds of games, you do get in trouble if you try to talk to everybody. And you know, cozy up to everybody. It's the first time I've heard of this. Where did this assault take place and when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
There's more here. Who is this woman? Renglitz says, I like how Joyce doesn't seem to question any weird things we say. She either laughs it off or just accepts it. She knows who she's dealing with by now.
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You'll meet her soon enough, you feel?
This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
His name was...
Lely.
Lely?
His service name. Nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man. Courty, they call
We gotta
him.
find these guys.
A
We gotta talk
nickname
to
as
them.
well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Courty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
This Lely, anything else? Nationality? How old would you say he was? I mean, we sort of did that already. But yeah, but what?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own.
Ah, like old Sly Stallone. Rangwet says, yeah, and she wants to look good. Plus, she comes off as someone who doesn't like to judge. It's ironic how much empathy she has, but how little of a moral backbone she has.
In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Where are the other two remaining mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, They're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
They might know something.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
I need to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Look, where are the mercenaries?
One is obviously the scab leader.
Ah!
The one chanting the idiotic slogans.
Got
He's
it.
maintaining his disguise.
Renguet says a boat is almost fitting there. She sees and understands others, but drifts through their lives like a boat, not actually doing anything to help their lives. It's true, boats hardly help anybody.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout.
Very ungenerous
they were keeping
boats.
tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
We don't need to tell her that. I have another question for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
How much time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
Renguet says, listen, don't poke a hole in my flawless metaphor. I'm sorry, I'm just teasing Renguet. Obviously, I say completely incoherent things all the time. And not that that's completely incoherent, but just that I'm in no position to judge. You mean you don't know what's going on?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
Renguet is a metaphor I didn't just make up on the spot. Definitely not.
It's a matter of
Almost
days,
a cliche,
not weeks.
you know? Never forget the Kim Kardashian incident. True. That's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news.
Please,
If there
that's
is anything
fine.
else I can help you with, please ask.
Anything
Of
about the
course.
strike? We don't need to talk to her about the scabs. We'll speak to them
Don't tell
ourselves.
her you've met Everard right away. This time.
Oh, I did already do that. I've got some more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite
Oh.
part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
This is a very hard thing, but we're super good at it. Renguet says, hey, Joyce, did you know Kim? Don't tell him I told you this, but he is Kim Kardashian. It's true. What is reach for something fundamental? And if you fail this check, after never succeeding on any of the cool 3% checks, thank God.
All of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
You're a pale antipode. So Renguet says, I failed the most important 96% chance in the game likely. No.
Camera
Oh,
of
that's
her
brutal.
glides over the surface of the water.
What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Is this the one with the evil apes?
Not in this case, no. That sounds more like something the Mesk petrofascists might say.
Her gaze wanders. Oh my god. Our conversation with her is pretty if I was okay, so imagine you're sitting at a table and at like a work thing or something that you can't leave easily, and two people that you're sitting next to are having this conversation. I would hate it. I would have a horrible time. It's interesting in the context of this game, but if IRL I was listening to two people talking like this, it just absolutely odious.
The Confederate Republic of Mesk, the world's largest state by territory, has fallen into an especially nihilistic strain of nationalism lately.
It isn't enough to call us animals. Even animals aren't animals.
Well, that's just tautologically impossible. What are animals then?
They're like you and I. I suppose. Living organisms don't identify with abstractions. Elysium is for particular beings.
Rangwet says we went from an RPG that ends in Elysium to a game set in Elysium. True. Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment. I'm an optimist. I think this world, it's a good world full of good people, like the lady who's running the checks on the armor for me.
It does.
And Kim.
There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
You have just got a bee in your bonnet for the Pesk petro-fascists. What is up with that? I don't feel like I've got the whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Inside sideways? Joyce, I'm not bored by your conversation. I just had a long day. What shape is this world, then?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
Pretty sure the world is flat. I heard that the North and South Poles are big ice caps that hold all the water in. Oh no, we are on to the flat Earth theories. Oh yeah!
ORG, Occident Revichograd.
We made it. I knew if we dug around in here, we could find the flat Earth
Between the
theories.
big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
Oh my god, if you leave one out overnight, like because you drank too many and then you had one left over, and then you look at dark gray corona, I'm not even going to finish that thought.
Yes.
It was madness. It was never going to pay off.
72% of the surface.
Hmm.
There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
Rangwet says, Joyce, tell me about reality. We are in Elysium and the Earth is flat. Fantastic. Thank you, Joyce.
A cold fear seeps into you.
The Pale. And what do you mean, Corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness.
Okay.
I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here.
Sure.
But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's going to bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Rangwet says, Joyce sounding sane until you ask her about reality, and she spits the most whack shit. Oh, also we are being eaten by a giant pale force. Oh, cool. Normal.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides.
What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
I heard about this. It's a weird invisible bug. Pierogi Frenzy says, you could say it's real. Joyce looks at the camera and winks. Disco Elysium. True.
Of reality.
Okay, but what is it? A definition.
Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the interocellular mass.
And what is the pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless.
In words with fewer than 4 syllables, please.
It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Oh, it's the ether. I know about it. That's how light waves move. Come on, Joyce. I'm a man of science.
The negation of being.
The negation of...
That's right. The negation of being.
Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
It says its physical aspects like them discovering space, but instead of space, it is a growing space eating the world.
As your
Troubling.
gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
6,000 kilometers from the end of the world.
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer.
And points north. There.
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called Porch Collapse.
How did anybody think of this game? My god. I could never... There's so many things in this game that I would just never... I would never think of. You could be like, hey, Piotr, write a bunch of really interesting, weird games for 100 years. And I would never... I feel very impressed.
Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor, marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism.
It's pronounced microorganism.
A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
All right, we get it. You know disco. Rainbow says, well, kind of. The Pale is very multi-layered in its metaphors, and kind of weird how it's mostly grounded that we have this very sci-fi metaphor out of left field. Yeah, out of left field is exactly the right way to put it. I feel very caught off guard. How much Pale is there compared... if we're surrounded by Pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola?
Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions.
Also,
on the
Fritz
Pale.
sells pale-aged
In
wine.
modern times,
Oh!
we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path.
Huh.
But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost. Or having our minds damaged.
The Pale can damage the mind? Maybe that's probably what happened to me.
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Huh.
Who says and who argues?
Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue.
What does this overradiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
That seems high! That seems like a lot, actually. Ringwat says, what is interesting to think about how Pale ages drinks, but without spoilers, I think it is the opposite way around, actually, in a sense. The Pale reflects the drink, not the drink reflects the Pale from the age in it. I'm going to have to think about what that one means.
It's more for her. Way more.
You're not a civilian passenger?
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia.
It's Harry.
I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
That's so much!
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well.
Ringwat says, I won't elaborate more, but more metaphorically speaking. Got it. Do lorry drivers pass the Pale?
Yes.
Ah!
Held in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
Good?
You should ask the Pale driver about this.
Yeah.
See what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Are you overradiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
Huh. Let's return to reality. For now.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
You know, I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good.
Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
It's terrifying. It is terrifying.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for
Oh,
the
don't you judge
investigation,
me.
Detective. If you don't know even this, then
Listen, by not knowing, just like Sherlock Holmes doesn't know that the Earth revolves around the sun. You remember that when Sherlock Holmes doesn't know it, and Watson is like, how can you not know it? And Sherlock Holmes is like, I don't need to know that. In fact, I'm going to forget it right away. I don't need to know geography to do a murder investigation. What, did somebody stab someone with an isthmus? Come on, of course they didn't. This investigation will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by, I promise.
I hope so.
Ringwood says, did that actually happen? It's in the book.
If
Yeah.
I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent.
Oh, I already knew that.
In the meanwhile,
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
Ringwood says, so true. Now let's try to work out the geography on this tattoo for the case. Oh, absolutely, just absolutely bodied by an extremely cogent point.
you have me.
Ah.
I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Secret task complete. Talk to Joyce about the Pale without Kim. That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance.
And that's
Little that I know.
also all for now.
Anything else?
Nice. Oh, well, that was surreal. Let's wrap it up here for today, though. We'll be back probably Sunday, maybe Monday. I'll post the schedule on the Discord when we'll be back with some more of this. But man, oh man, I do like this game a lot. It feels like we're making kind of slow progress, but I'm having a whale of a time. A lot of info this time. Yeah, learned a lot about the world. And a lot about the case, too, actually. You're right. Anyway, I want to wrap it up by saying, and Ringwatts has started this year on a good foot for streams. I hope so. This has been a really fun game to stream, definitely. Speaking of, if you watched any of this stream live tonight, thank you so much for watching live. Thanks for hanging out. Always great to have people in chat. And if you watch this as a recording or on YouTube, thank you so much for watching that way, too. And until next time, I will see you later.